Good morning, Big Brother fans. Yes, good morning, not good afternoon. I did not do a CarCast yesterday. It is Tuesday, September 17th. This would be day 64. Yes, day 64, I believe. And I had a bit of a messed up afternoon as far as work goes. And also, the Power Veto meeting didn't happen until roughly 10 o'clock last night. It started at like 10 o'clock last night. So we really didn't have anything go on yesterday afternoon. Almost nothing at all went on as far as game-wise. The house gets sat around, talked, ate pizza, ate ice cream, napped, played games. Just, nothing worth talking about. Although we did have a sense, I don't even know if I talked about that, where things were going to go. I think maybe I said that it seemed like Leah was not going to use the power veto, and her power veto, and Angela was going to use hers. And that is kind of how things went. So after the feeds came back, we saw that indeed Leah did not use her power veto. Angela did use hers to save Chemo, which again was payback for the times that she's voted for Chemo. And then Leah, in turn, nominated Takor in Chemo's place. So there's lots of hard feelings because, why pick on the three of us? The Chemo, Takor, and Rubina, I mean. They are seen as a solid trio, and they finally are getting broken up, and they're not happy about it. And they'll get over it eventually a little bit, but they're still bitter to each other. When the feeds came back, Takor was up in the diary room for at least 45 minutes. I don't know. She didn't come down for quite a while. And the groups were all huddled in their own little things. You had, when the feeds first came back, you had Angela talking with Leah. You had Mackenzie, I think, was talking with Rubina and Chemo. And Chelsea and Cam were off on a corner. So we got three different conversations going on here. I didn't pay a ton of attention to and we didn't get to see all of them. Obviously, you generally only have two things going on at most at a time. Didn't really see much of the Mackenzie, Rubina, Chemo talk. What we saw was Angela talking with Leah, and Angela pretty much seemed to be saying that she thought Takor was the one that needed to go, that she was the bigger competitor, and that she was the one who was sure to get votes, right? That Rubina isn't necessarily going to have as big, her resume is not as big, or her level of friends and people that will vote for her are not as strong as Takor. Takor is a lock to get 2 votes, although some would say Rubina is as well, but Rubina is not quite as strong in that way. Her social game is not quite as strong as Takor's when it comes to the rest of the house. So, at least Leah and Angela definitely seem to want Takor to get voted out, but Leah doesn't have a vote, and Angela's only 1 vote, and it only takes 3 votes to stay in the house this week. And that is another reason that they wanted to keep Takor and Rubina on the block to prevent them from having a majority votes. Now, Cam, I think, wants to keep Takor. I think Chelsea may want. I'm not sure where Chelsea falls on this now. For a long time, I thought Chelsea said she would never vote for Takor. So it could be that Chelsea won't vote for Takor. In which case, it could definitely be Rubina going if Chemo votes out Rubina. And remember, Chemo was extremely close to Rubina to start the season. I mean, they're still close, but Rubina's friendship with Takor has kind of outshone Chemo's at this point. So I would expect Chemo to vote out Rubina. And if Cam and Chelsea both want Takor to stay, that's your 3 votes. I don't know if they're going to be able to change it. Maybe Takor will stay another week, which may lock her in much further down the road. So the conversation was going on with Angela and Leah. That was that convo. And then Leah and Angela reassuring, Leah that, you did what you had to do. There's nothing, you can't feel bad. You can't make people are going to get upset no matter what you do at this point. You're down to the end, getting close to the end, and there's just not enough people around to feel good after you doing your things. Leah is also a bit removed emotionally. She can come across as a bit emotionally cold, I think, at times, and that annoys some of the house guests who want her to be all upset all the time, and she can just kind of like distance herself from that. But I did see some griping on reported conversations online about, Leah seems to want to re-engage with Decor and Rubina, and they want their space. Well, the problem is they're all in a big open yard, so they can't not look at each other, and that's making things uncomfortable as well. But I think it was either Decor or Rubina that were like, doesn't she understand how this works? And she moped around. She isolated herself for an entire day last week, and yet she doesn't seem to be willing to think about how she needs to give us space. But it is what it is. It's a completely different situation now than it was. They also Decor regrets not nominating Leah last week. Remember, she picked between Leah and Quinn, and they saw Quinn is the bigger threat. Well, that's what happens in Big Brother. Things don't go the way you expect. So, that was the Angela and Leah conversation again. The Chelsea and Cam conversation was completely different. Completely different. It was all related to Cam and Chelsea's relationship. And by the way, they aren't in a relationship, but Chelsea has been very jealous of Cam's friendliness towards the other women, be it both Mackenzie and Leah. More Mackenzie of late, but Chelsea has also noticed that Cam didn't want to get rid of Leah last week. Cam's been protective of Leah. So, Chelsea's very, very jealous of this, even though she seems to not like him. She seems to possibly like him, right? It's kind of one of those, a girl doesn't like the boy, so the girl pokes at the boy. And I'm not just saying as a girl versus boy thing, but I'm a guy, so that's the view I have of it. I can remember back in school, a girl that she used to take a pen or a pencil and poke me in the back of the neck. Now, I never had any kind of and this was like junior high stuff. I never had any kind of a relationship with that girl, but there is that thought of, oh, that meant that girl liked you, kind of a thing. So Chelsea has picked on Cam in the early seasons about his hygiene thing, his clothing, and and some people said that's just her way of expressing that she kind of likes the guy. Okay, whatever, I don't know. So the consensus is among people is that Chelsea does like Cam, and Cam has been very friendly towards both Leah and Mackenzie, and snuggled with Mackenzie a few times in the past few weeks, and it really seems to drive Chelsea mad, and she's kind of yelled at him for things that some people have been like, why is she so mad at him about that? It's like, well, it's really not about that, it's about that, right? So the feeds came back to Chelsea pretty much ripping into Cam, just one-on-one in a corner with blankets kind of pulled up so people couldn't see their faces talk, and pretty much ripping into him about this whole thing about you're being too friendly to the women, if you're using that as a tactic to get on their good side or whatever. And Cam's like, you know what, you guys pick on me, or maybe you pick on me all the time, and I'm just supposed to take it, and it really does hurt my feelings. So they went back and forth, and then Cam basically said, look, I was your number one. I was loyal to the 5. I was loyal to the 3. I'm loyal to the 2 of us. I'm loyal to you. You're my number one. You got to understand that. And if you don't like the way, I'm doing, I don't know what to tell you. And she said, well, you just have to say things. You don't have to not say things and assume. And you understand what I'm saying? It was what it was. They're having their conversation. In the end, I don't know if they made things better or not. I suppose maybe they made things better for the night. That's the summation of what that conversation was. Anything else? Just general stuff. I was goofing around with I made several recordings last night and did stuff. And again, some of you don't go online even, so you can't see this stuff on Twitter, but I will talk about the things that I did just for the fun of it. Chelsea, today is Chemo's 36th birthday. As a part of that, Takor and Rubina practiced a little dance number for Chemo for like hours while Chemo was napping, and I don't know if it'll make the TV show or not, but I did play part of that video of them practicing, which I kind of made fun of because I said, one of you is going home on Thursday and this is what you're doing, but it is what it is. They're coping the best way they can. Immediately after I recorded that, Rubina and Chemo sat, not Chemo, Rubina and Takor sat down and they were talking about what's going to happen, and Rubina kind of goes into a little kid mode sometimes where she's like, it's going to be okay, and it's like, oh man, but it had this sense of like a foreboding. To me, it was the beginning of a zombie movie, like the zombies are coming, it may not go well, or we're going to be okay. Kind of a weird thing that is like, oh, put some dramatic music over it, and you've got a drama, which Big Brother does all the time. So I went and had this bit recorded. I then went and pulled out my limited supply of Big Brother music, which I came across last year, a YouTube page that had some of the Big Brother bed music without any noise on it, so just the music. And so I was like, this is kind of cool, and I used it for a video I made, I pulled one of those songs out. These songs, what's amazing about these songs is you can kind of just throw them on top of anything and they work and they fit. And that's what I basically did. I threw this video or this music right from the start of it, right on top of this, and just ended it where the clip ended, and it kind of worked. And so I put that up as kind of a dramatic little thing. That was another thing I did. And then the last thing I did, I came up with in my brain yesterday, where, we're in janky world, right? Janky is kind of messed up a little bit. It's the word janky, Janky, even though they spell it Jankie on the show. Janky is an actual word which means kind of just not quite right, kind of halfway, it's just not the prettiest. It's thrown together, right? That's what a janky means. I mean, most of you probably know that, but there are people that don't know what the word janky means. And so that's it. It's not like it's a common word, but it is a word maybe partly from maybe it's 70s. I don't know why I know it as a kid, but I know the word janky. So I thought of janky, and I was watching, and it's like, you know what? They should have everything's janky. And, Big Brother, it's janky this, janky that. Well, we'll have a janky fish camera. How do we do a janky fish camera? And which is the fish camera is what they go to sometimes when they shut down the feeds, when they want to just cut away for a minute or two. They'll go to this picture of the fish tank, and you'll see fish swimming around in air bubbles, and it says "We'll be right back." It's the "We'll be right back" screen, and as opposed to the really long screen they go to which is the animal screen, which is what they go to when they're doing competitions and stuff. So I wanted a fake fish tank. So I wanted I used to have a little Finding Nemo. I'm sure it was a total ripoff, but it was a little tiny USB powered fish tank that just had 2 plastic fish in it. It circulated water, and they would bob around, and it just kind of looked like it was a little USB thing. Probably got it in the 2000s, and I don't know if I have it anymore or not. But I wanted a video of something like that, a camera pointed at one of those things and just circling. Well, guess what? It's actually hard to find an online video of a fish tank of fake fish. I know, it's weird. I found a couple. The problem is the people couldn't hold the camera still for more than 10 seconds. They kept moving the camera around. So I managed to find a video of a fake fish tank, and it was relatively still for a short period of time, and then I slowed it down and got 30-some seconds out of it, which the purpose of that was I needed 30 seconds because that's how long an audio I got of the house guests singing the Janky song, because there is a Janky song. They played it on Sunday's show. I'm not going to sing it for you, but it's the house guests singing the Janky song. They've sung it multiple times in the house, but I just needed one decent recording, and I got a decent recording. I actually didn't even get a decent recording. I had to spliced together two parts of recording together to make it one full long song, because they like to yell out random things, and I wanted a mostly authentic them singing, not just saying words in the middle. And so I put it all together. I edited down the "We'll Be Right Back" logo out of a fish tank picture, and then got the janky words off the TV show where it said Janky's World. I actually screen capped that and then grabbed the letters out to get the letters exactly right, the font, and got rid of the Big Brother part of the "We'll Be Right Back" screen and changed to Janky World. So it says Janky World, "We'll Be Right Back," and then it had the fish tank, the fake fish tank going, and the house guest singing the Janky song. And that's what I did last night. That was my evening as I vegged out. That's how I entertain myself sometimes, folks. And I put that together and posted it, and I actually had to do it a couple different times because it wasn't quite right. Figures. But I put it together, posted it, and it is what it is. It's one of those things where you think, oh, this is going to be amazing and everyone's going to love it. And it's got quite a few likes and everything, but I wanted it to be some kind of a viral sensation. And then the things you want to be viral sensations generally never happen. So anyways, it's out there. And we'll see how much it catches on and stays and all that good stuff. But I'm dealing with traffic again and pedestrians. I deal with a lot of pedestrians, but that's just the nature of where I work. So I try not to hit them. So I'm arriving at the office. You know what's going on. We'll see if Takor can stay out of the target, the crosshairs of her fellow house guests. If Rubina is pretty much just going to accept her fate, which I think she might. I think she very well might just accept her fate and be like, yep, I'm going home. And the house guest may just be willing to vote her out. We'll see. Maybe it'll light a fire under Takor and she'll just be suddenly miss-aggressive and go and win a competition. Leah, by the way, is now the only house guest not to have been nominated so far. So eventually she may be. I mean, she may not be. She may win it all. But there you go. I'm done. Have a good Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys maybe this evening. We'll see. It's hard telling. I may not. It just depends on what goes on. If anything worth talking about. We are getting a little bit slow on the feed, so if I don't talk to you tonight, it's because nothing of note has really happened, and that's that. All right. Okay. Take care, everybody. Thanks to my patrons. We'll talk to you guys. If not this afternoon, we'll talk to you tomorrow for sure. Be well, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.